I saw a YouTube video today where I don't remember the video actually right now, but what it made me think about is um, the power of journaling and how it can help you give the perception of yourself or see how you have grown or how your thinking has grown. And an example that I was thinking about when I was watching that video was how I think it was, I was like, let me think, 15 years old. When I had found that that's when I pretty much like probably like that year, maybe like 1 year earlier, I started to look into self-development, started to look for some answers, trying to understand myself. Initially, the the really motivation was just trying to understand what's wrong with me. And there was this there was like I found like a book and there were like a lot of questions that you would answer or sentences that you would finish. And I went through that and I think it was 7 years later or 5 years later that I found that notebook. And when I read through, I knew that I had like low self-esteem, insecurities, things like that at that time, but I didn't know how bad it actually was because when I read through the notebook and the answers that I did write, that's when I realized that I had really low self-esteem. It really put it in perspective because it's hard to see your growth from day to day. And also, it's hard to remember how you were thinking now that you're in a different thinking or like have different belief system, different perception of yourself and the world. So that's where I think journaling can be really powerful tool to be able to see your growth and measure your growth. And actually, one interesting tool that I discovered at this point, probably 5 years ago, is one line a day. So it's like you probably, if you Google it, you're gonna find it. It's like a notebook in which you have five like short places where you can write what happened in that day or summary or whatever you want to write. And then I would write that you see like 5 years. So it's really interesting to see what happened on this exact day for like last 5 years. So I would encourage you to journal because it's really interesting to go back to see where you were, what you were thinking about, what were you worrying about. Because sometimes when I look back on what happened on this day a few years ago, I see that I was worrying about something that at this point it's I looking back, I have no regrets. I'm super happy and it wouldn't even bother me. So it's a really good measure of your growth because sadly we can't see our measure we can't see the measure of our growth day to day because day to day it's incremental, but it all adds up. And if you have something to look back to, that's where you can really see how much you have grown.